Hello, and today we have a very special guest with us. A Rebound Coach, a TEDx speaker, an author, an inspirational person, and a corporate trainer. My pleasure and privilege to introduce to you Mr. Niranjan Nerlige. Welcome to our studio here in UNext, Niranjan. As always, a pleasure to see you and to be able to talk to you. It's been a long time since we've caught up with each other. Thank you for taking this time out.
Thank you very much.
For those of you who are listening to this on a podcast, I just like to highlight that Niranjan is wheelchair bound, and he's been wheelchair bound for many decades now. An unfortunate incident occurred just after he had completed his post-graduation from IIT Mumbai, and he was due to go on a off-site assignment. Because of ill health, and he had a fever, he kind of fell down and he is paralyzed waist down. And yet, that has not stopped him from becoming who he is today. He is the recipient of the Rotary Diversity Award in 2018, and primarily because of the inspiration that he brings to the table and the never say die attitude. For him, his mantra has been challenging one's limits rather than being limited by one's challenges. What a beautiful way to say that, Niranjan. What a beautiful way to say it. He was featured on the Forbes magazine, and the reason he was featured there was as an unstoppable rebound coach and an inspirational speaker. Niranjan has authored a book, and the book also is called I Choose to Be Unstoppable. And it is the #1 bestseller on Amazon. A #1 bestseller on Amazon. So if you have not got your copy yet, go out and get one. I Choose to Be Unstoppable. Even more interesting, though he has been wheelchair bound for so long, he has visited 5 countries around the world. And I'm actually going to start with that. How did you find that experience? What made it possible? The ability to travel across 5. Many people who are wheelchair bound think that they are limited to their house and nothing more.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the fact that you imagine that you have to travel abroad, the idea itself makes you to shake yourself, because moment you have to travel outside the country, it has multiple challenges. First is shifting from one plane to another flight, and there will be transit airports, so you have to manage there, and your wheelchair has to come along with you. So it is appears to be challenging, but if you plan everything and inform airline authorities before about your condition, they will arrange this in such a way that there will be a paramedical staff. When you go to suppose there is a transit airport, you can get down, and the paramedical staff will come to the flight inside. Only because airline crew, they will not allow them to lift the person. Only the paramedical staff should. So you have to just tell them about your condition much before and get sanctioned from airlines, and then next is your mind.
Very interesting. So one is the process part of it.
Part.
But the more important thing is your mindset.
Mindset.
So the ability, which kind of is a nice segue into my next question. You're calling yourself a rebound coach. This is a new phrase. I've never heard this phrase used before. What is the meaning of that, this rebound coach?
Yeah, because what happens is many times people get stuck in circumstances and they don't know how to rebound. The whole idea in life is many times you fall, but how fast you get up is important. So that is rebounding. So when you put a ball, how the ball rebounds fast, so it can come back to its original position.
Actually, what you're saying just triggers a thought. So the faster, the harder you throw the ball, the harder it rebounds. And you're saying that, hey, the harder you fall, the faster you should rebound. Right?
You have to have that attitude of getting up immediately.
So don't kind of self-pity and self-doubt. You should not fall into that kind of
Don't
thing.
think that it is the end of the world or like that.
Agree.
So
Okay.
fallen down, but I can also get up.
Absolutely. You're also a TEDx speaker. So what did you speak on and where was this?
The TEDx speech was in Dhananand Sagar College of Engineering.
Okay.
In 2019, just before COVID hit.
Uh-huh.
So it is the end of in November. So in fact, to get selected to TEDx speech, there will be thousands of applications. I never applied.
Okay.
And they only reached out to me, TEDx team.
Fantastic.
And one day I got a call, sir, we have seen your videos and we know about you in the social media. Could you please come as a speaker? Then I told them, I don't have anything much to speak, but I can only talk about my life, how I have been living. So that's what we want to speak. So then I thought for a moment and what to speak. Then many times, disability is treated in a different perceived differently by people in a different way. So there are two types of disability. One is physical disability, another is a mental disability. So, okay.
Nice one, yeah.
Okay, so it is a perception. There are so many people who are not physically disabled, but are not able to do many things in their life.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is a perception how you view as a disability. Then that is the reason I thought I will take my life as an example. In spite of me being physically challenged, physically disabled, but I have been able to accomplish many things and I am able to lead a successful life. So it is not the body limitation that matters, it's the mind limitation. So that is what I decided, and I spoke about a topic called disability is a matter of perception.
And I think this reminds me of a beautiful quote, and it says, whether you believe you can or you can't,
yes,
you are right.
Yes.
Right? And I think you're the kind of person who believes you can.
Yeah.
And therefore you're able to do this. It's fantastic. This appreciation of people with disabilities, people who are differently abled, etc. I know that you've been going to many corporates, many companies and so on. Do you think it is now getting better in terms of the acceptability of differently abled people, their ease with which they can get into corporates, then the ease with which they can work?
Yeah, I think now it is getting better. There is a lot of awareness in the society as well as in the corporates. The way it was like when I and you were working in Philips.
Yeah.
So I still remember like 1997.
Yes.
I remember that time.
Why? We go back so long, right? folks, we are that older friend together, right? And from 1997, I know him. Many of you may not have even been born by then, but hey, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah.
At that time, many buildings were hardly physically disabled friendly.
Yeah.
Okay. So in fact, if I remember, and you also remember, we changed Philips campus in multiple locations.
Correct.
Wherever I had to go, I had to tell them how to make physically.
Yes. You were actually designing your path, literally designing your path. I remember that. Yeah.
So that way, the awareness was not that much, even especially the toilet part.
Yeah.
The restroom is very important.
Correct.
Because a wheelchair person needs to have a privacy.
Yeah.
And he has his own way of emptying his bladder.
Correct.
So he requires special toilets were to be made.
Right. Yeah.
Those things were not available. But now, if you ask me, almost I can say in last 10 years, almost any IT buildings which I visited, they have wheelchair restrooms.
Okay.
So that is the biggest change that I see.
Good.
And also I see there's ramps. Okay.
Do you think that this kind of so while people who are physically wheelchair bound is one kind of disability, but there are many people who have disabilities of other kinds, poor eyesight, poor hearing.
Yes, yeah.
Do you think that's also being
that
accepted?
is also been taken.
Okay.
That is also taken care in, not in many companies, but definitely. Like I had a couple of months back, I had been to GE campus. So there was a yellow line. I was observing. I asked people, "What is this yellow line on the floor?" So that is meant for visually disabled people.
Okay. So it stands out separately and people can see it better.
Yeah.
So that's a great idea. Okay.
So like that, it's not just physically challenging or physically disabled people only can work. Even people are coming forward to make places friendly for other kind of disabled people also.
And personally, whenever I worked with such people, I've never seen a difference in terms of productivity or their ability to think, their intellect. I worked with people with various kinds of challenges, and if we provide them the right environment, I think they can prosper.
That is very important. That acceptability is very important, and right environment is very important.
Understand.
And another thing is, people should not treat them as special way. That sympathy is not important. Empathy is required.
Right? Yeah, empathy is more important. I agree completely. Why should we treat them completely? Interesting personal question here. When you entered the campus here, UNext campus, did you find that friendly enough for you?
Yeah, I think this UNext is I didn't find much of a problem.
Okay. So have a campus of this nature is what would help people work more easily.
Yeah, I think campus wise is very good, but I think maybe like if you earmark a parking for physically challenged people and put that wheelchair sign, so it's always reserved.
Correct.
So that no one will come and park.
And it has to be a little bigger than the normal thing. I agree. Okay. That may be an interesting input. I should take it back to my management. I will. But you spoke about one of the challenges that you face always, and people like you face, is the access to restrooms and so on. Are there other requirements that physically challenged people need that companies should take care of?
Another one is a cafeteria.
Okay.
Because for going for cafeteria.
Is the cafeteria just another? I would think, right? Again, my apologies for not being empathetic on this, but I would think a cafeteria is just an extension of the workspace, right?
Correct.
So where is the challenge there? What's the issue?
Like example, especially for wheelchair person, if there is a one step to climb and enter inside the cafeteria.
Any step is a problem.
Any step. So there has to be ramp.
Okay.
So that the person has to manage himself.
Is there a requirement from the design of the cafeteria itself inside?
Just if they just take the minimum care, that is more than sufficient. Yeah.
So it's not that.
No major requirement is required.
Okay. So cafeteria is one. We spoke about the restrooms. What about the actual workstation itself, the work spot?
Workstation, I don't see any much changes required in the workstation. Okay. It's more or less like any other normal workstation, the cubicles and all, the height, everything should be okay. I don't see much changes required.
I know that you are also a corporate trainer, right? And during the sessions that you deliver, do you need some special setup to make it easier for people like you?
I normally don't. I have adjusted my whole training to the setup itself. So that I don't.
What do you mean by that?
I don't ask people to make too many changes. Okay, it will most of discussion and my teaching, everything will be verbal. Okay, and if I have to write, I use laptop and so I explain and it gets projected in the projector. And of course, I can also write. Not too much changes is required.
Good to hear. Okay.
As long as the place is so that it's easy for me to go inside and especially conducting activities and all. So it should be.
So there should be some room between the tables.
Yeah, there should be some space to reach out to the people rather than only getting the
stage,
standing near the stage and speaking most of the time.
I understand. This brings me to my next question, really, right? And I think you highlighted this very subtly right now. You are not looking to be treated differently. People like you don't want that. It's not about sympathy, it's about empathy completely. How did you come out of the trauma that you went through so long ago? Right? You were an active young adult.
Yes.
And then suddenly one day later,
absolutely,
this happened.
That was very difficult to rebound and coming back to the mainstream life. The initial period was very, very difficult because all of a sudden I had a fever and without my knowledge I walked to the 4th floor balcony where I used to stay and fell down. Next time in the hospital. The thing is, I didn't even know that I'm not going to walk forever. So that reality was known to me after 3 months during my stay in the hospital, when doctor comes to me one day and tells me, Niranjan, you are not going to walk forever. A wheelchair is going to be your permanent companion and better get adjusted to wheelchair. I was still then thinking that in couple of months I'll be going to US because I was handpicked to send me to US.
Yeah.
So I was still in that
Frame of
thinking.
mind, yeah.
But accepting that reality was very difficult because all these days you have been leading a very normal life, and suddenly you've been asked to sit in the wheelchair
Correct.
and spend the rest of your life in wheelchair. Is not that easy. So it was very difficult. But there is something called, certain things can be changed, certain things cannot be changed in this world. So my disability was such that there was no cure.
Mhm.
So I had to accept it. Otherwise, it is like this. When your life is at rock bottom,
Yeah.
though there is only way is to climb up. There is no other way.
You can't go below that.
Yeah. So it is your choice. Whether you want to stay there, you want to climb up.
But this whole process of, and I think that's the crux of what you're saying when you say rebound. It's not easy to accept this new reality, right?
Absolutely. That is very, very difficult.
How does one go about doing that? What is the change that one must bring into your thinking?
First of all, it depends upon your mindset. Okay, you need to think that just because you are physically challenged and you are in wheelchair bound, that's not the end of the world. Okay.
How did you come to that conclusion? It is the end of the world, right? I mean, that's the normal thinking is, hey, till yesterday I was completely active, right? And then,
what I mean to say is, why you should not think of the end of the world is you can still lead the life or in wheelchair. Only thing is, now you have to lead your life in the wheelchair, but you have to accept that. And there are so many people already who are role models like Stephen Hawking, things like that.
Yeah.
With so many disabilities, Helen Keller, like that, they have become such a
correct. Absolutely.
Well-known people and highly inspiring people for many.
Yeah.
So when you look upon such role models, you can also think that it's not the end of the life for you. You have to think like that.
That's a very interesting perspective. So actually, what you're saying is, hey, you can get that strength from experiences of other people.
Yeah, some role models are there already there.
And people who had a far more difficult life.
Because had it been a situation only for you and not for anybody else, then it's okay. Because there is no other way. But now, I also heard about Stephen Hawking, Helen Keller. And also, so one interesting thing that happened is, while I was in the hospital, the doctor presented me one book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind.
Okay.
So why I'm telling is, he said, he just gave this book and you just go through this book. This book might help you. Then I was having my own trauma. Reading the whole book itself was a difficult thing for me. But one day, I kept for a few days like that. But one day, randomly, I just opened one page. Just randomly. See, this is how, some higher force or God, how works in your life. Like it just randomly opened, there is a story about an incident where that person meets with an accident and he's completely paralyzed from neck below.
Okay.
That page straight away came, that story. And he's admitted and except his above neck, nothing is movable.
Okay.
And what he does is, when he was staying as a patient in the ward, he never thinks he is disabled. He always imagine when every day normally he is getting up and going to the toilet room and bathroom. And
so he's
visualizing himself that as if he is a normal person. So that subconscious mind makes him to believe that he is not disabled. So that story, and at the end of the day, after few days, few months, he walks with the help of crutches out of the hospital on his own. That story inspired me a lot.
I can imagine. That is. It is true. It is tales like these from people who have gone through those experiences that can motivate you to do far better.
Correct. And what I realized from that is, if at all you can do anything in your life, your mind is very important. So I was very careful in managing my mind. Despite
do not allow negative
yes,
thoughts.
yes, yes.
But okay, in real life, for sure there will be negativity that comes now and then.
Correct.
Right? You're a human being, you are going to face. How do you come out of that? How do you rebound from that?
That is very important, because there is a lot of negativity, because first of all, your family, people support is important.
Yeah.
Okay. And sometimes not everyone can immediately be positive.
Yes.
Okay. So it is the environment makes a lot of support. So like when I was in the hospital, I was lucky enough to being surrounded with nurses and all doctors who were always
motivating.
Like I never used to behave that I am physically challenged person, because I don't know, my voice, the tone never changed, only even when I was before and after the accident. So they were getting inspired, and they were also helping me to be, giving more motivation. So like that, the people in the family also have to support the person a lot. So that will help. The environment helps a lot.
So while you're saying these things, right? In my corporate career, I've come across many people who are upset because they didn't get a promotion, and they think the whole life has come to a halt. Right? I didn't, you gave me 10% increment. I was expecting 12%. Whole life comes to a halt. I have a bad boss. My life is a disaster. What's your message to them? What's the because it is happening so often, especially with the younger generation.
Absolutely. These are so trivial because there are so many bigger things which they can look. And
look, I'm interested in my career. I do want my promotion, right? And I'm not getting it. Is it not natural for me to feel low?
Rather than thinking like that, like example in my case, to share, because you were there in physics, Philips, when working. So within 3-4 years, I was able to get promoted.
Correct.
And I started heading an entire quality department, and played a key role in helping getting most coveted quality certification.
Correct.
So if I had thought like that, I wouldn't have got promoted. So first of all, rather than thinking not getting promoted, first you need to think what it requires to get promoted.
You know what? One of our earlier speakers, his name is Tathagat Verma, he said this beautifully. He said, first deserve, then desire.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so you should decide. Now, here's the issue, right? So let's assume that I have been dropped for promotion. Invariably, I think, the problem is not me. My boss doesn't like me. Or my boss gave me a tough project which I could never complete. Therefore, I got an average appraisal rating. How do I come out of this kind of
thing? These are all just, I feel, these are all our own thoughts. I don't think you will, in your whole life, you will get all such kind of bosses.
Okay, that's a good point, right? Every boss is not a bad boss.
Yeah, every boss is not a bad. If one boss is a bad boss, either you can think of moving out in some other project. But if there is a bad boss, then the problem is not with the boss, problem is with you. Okay, so
I agree. You are the common factor there.
Yeah, first of all, we have to think I am the cause in the matter. I strongly believe in that principle, that cause-effect principle. If anything is happening today, I am the cause.
Yeah.
The problem is I have to first look within me, what can I do to bring change in this, rather than expecting others to change.
So there are two, then let me break this down a bit, right? So one thing is to say, I am the cause, right? That's the first step in the process. I am the cause. And then to bounce out of it, right? Like you said, the rebound factor, to rebound from that. Is it just in my mind again, or should I seek help from others? How does this work?
It is, if you ask me, seeking help and all these things come secondary. Primary thing is your actions. You have to work towards any goal. Whatever goal is given to you in your organization. So just focus on the goal. Your focus is very important. rather than getting defocused with negative things.
But my boss doesn't like
See,
how do I? That is my problem, right?
yeah,
So I
that is
don't-
what I'm telling.
Yeah.
Why your boss only do not like you? If he doesn't like you, and if he's not if he's liking others, then there must be some reason.
Okay. Problem is with me again.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree.
You need to think about that.
So what I hear you saying is, first take ownership for your situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah? Take ownership for your situation.
Yes.
That is the first step. And from there, ask yourself what change you need to make to take this, to make it better.
And don't get deviated from your goal. As long as you have a clarity towards your goal, and you take action towards that, come what may, things will lead you.
Correct. Let me move to your professional life. Right. I know you've played many roles personally with me in Philips, but also afterwards as well and before. Which of these roles did you find the most challenging?
Corporate, the thing is, when I was in the second job, not in Philips. Philips had a very fantastic second job. It was too much of attending meeting quickly and moving, things like that. I was feeling a little bit stressed in a second job. So there I think was a little bit toughest time I underwent because I had to attend as a manager. I had to attend all the meetings.
Okay.
And still.
So it was more stressful rather than anything else. It's just moving from meeting to meeting that you find difficult.
Yeah.
You would rather sit down and get jobs done, right?
Yes.
Okay. I know you for that. So it is easy. It is, I think, for many of us, meetings are a necessary evil, right? So to say. So getting the job done is far more important. I get
and that was being a service organization, had to handle multiple accounts. So that was, I felt, the most challenging period.
Once you left active corporate life, because in a corporate life, there is always some support system.
Correct.
You're working for a brand, and it's you've got colleagues that they can help you, etc. What gave you the courage to move away from that? Start on your own.
That was very crucial, very good question, and also very crucial decision which I took. Even I was also in dilemma to whether to leave the job or not.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, with being a physically challenged person, as you keep getting aged,
correct,
you will have multiple difficulties, and also your corporate job might become more and more challenging for you if you have to rise higher and higher up.
Correct.
Because you have to visit multiple places and countries or that.
Yeah.
If you have to be in management ladder. So what I thought is, how would it be if I'm able to be a self-employed, and if I can earn myself and have my own time. Okay. That was a thought. But how do you become? There are multiple ways, So one thing for me is, when I had finished my engineering, I was a lecturer. I had become a lecturer, and before I went to IIT, so my teaching helped me a lot. I used to get a lot of good feedback. I stayed for only 1 year there, but I got very good feedback from students there. So I thought, why not take a training as a career and just test the waters. So I thought 6 months I'll try. See, nothing will be clear in our life, first of all.
Correct.
First we need to act.
Yeah.
Take a decision and act. Test it. And if it works, it's fine. If it doesn't work, I knew that I can always come back to the job.
Absolutely.
So for 6 months I tested the waters, but I was able to get established as a trainer.
Okay.
And then as I started getting established as the trainer, I was conducting public workshop and to LinkedIn and other LinkedIn profile, things like that. I was slowly getting established. Okay. So like that, you have to take a decision and test for some time. If it works.
I thought you would say that was the most stressful period of your life, right? So when you moved from corporate job becoming self-employed.
6 months was very tough. Yeah, first 6 months.
I think
because I was completely uncertain, because suddenly your job salary will not be there.
Yeah.
You will not get the salary.
Correct.
Plus, you have to establish yourself in an unknown area, unknown terrain. Because now you have a office, corporate
Correct,
life.
exactly. Right?
Yeah.
So all of those are missing suddenly.
Yes.
And I think this is a very positive message to all those budding entrepreneurs out there, right? In my mind, there are two kinds of entrepreneurs. One kind who talk about it and the other kind who did what he does. Get out, experiment, try, fail, rebound, right? And that's the whole mantra. You know, it is beautiful that you use this kind of language. You said, look, I will try for 6 months, I will fail, I will learn, I will move on. This is exactly an agile mindset.
Yeah.
Right? And I know that you are an agile trainer. So, are the two kind of matching?
Yeah, see, the whole idea is, you don't expect my concept of thing is, don't think too far in anything. Whether in life or in the job or in your promotion also.
Correct.
Okay, in career also.
Yeah.
You just, at the most, you can plan what is going to happen in next 1 week. You can't plan next year what is going to happen in your life.
I agree.
Okay, so better you think what you should do for next 1 week and have some goal. What I can do in next 1 or 2, 3 months where I should be. So whatever it requires. Have some shorter goals and work towards that.
Okay.
And as you keep moving, God, you can say God, or you can say higher force. You will start able to discover the way.
So don't be. I mean, you are saying you cannot crystallize.
Yes, very difficult. Yeah.
And especially in today's world with the changes
and
in
especially with people like
when
me,
when people like you,
we have multiple challenges.
Yeah.
Like example, very simple thing I can tell for people is, for you to get dressed up, approximately it may take some 10, 15 minutes to get dressed up.
You're right.
For me, it takes minimum 45 minutes to 1 hour to get dressed up. So this is one of the challenges. But till now, since last 13 years, I am a trainer. I think even I travel for outside Karnataka. Till COVID, I used to travel, and I traveled, as you said, I mentioned, traveled in outside countries also. If I recall, maybe I think 1 or 2 times only I have gone late to the training in last 13 years. I manage despite my disability. I get dressed properly, and I plan everything to reach on time to the training hall despite my disability.
Niranjan, I've always known you as a true professional. This is just another metric for the same, right? I would not expect anything less from you. Niranjan is an absolute professional when it comes to these kinds of things. I appreciate that. I know absolutely what you're saying. Yeah. It's fantastic to see that. So you're right. I mean, it's up to, again, it's a matter of your mindset.
Absolutely.
Yeah? So if you decide
like for one person can do it in 10 minutes, you may do it in 30 minutes. So what? Why do you crack your head? Absolutely. As long as you reach the goal, that's fine.
Absolutely.
Why do you compare yourself to others?
Oh, brilliant way of putting it. Yeah, you are who you are, right? Whether it is God given or otherwise, you are who you are, and learn to live with it.
I never compare myself to anyone in my life. That is one of my strengths.
Related again from a professional perspective. The world of agile and project management is changing so much.
Yeah.
How do you keep yourself abreast of that? What is your message to project managers and agile coaches, etc.?
In the fact that word agile, if you search anybody, first when I enter the workshop, I'll tell them, please search in Google what is agile. I'll tell them. First, the word of agile is able to move quickly and easily. That is a dictionary meaning. Okay. So whole agile project management is how fast you take a decision, quickly move, rather than keeping things for delayed, So this agility is very important in this fast-paced world because customers expect things to be done fast. Okay, so it is in your hands how we plan our strategy to move quickly and easily. So that rugby approach, right?
Yeah.
In a rugby game, so everyone, they go as a unit.
Yeah.
And they pass the ball back and forth.
Yeah.
But they don't have strategy there. Every time they keep discovering the strategy based on the situation. So like this, in project management also, you can't have any standard strategy for all situations.
Mhm.
You need to keep adapting yourself to the different strategy based on the situation in your project at that time.
Correct.
So that is all agile.
That's
And-
all. That's what I.
And
Yeah.
I will tell them, don't accept what is the meaning of agile. As long as you add value to your client, that means you are agile.
As long as you add value to your client, you are agile.
Yes. Your client should feel that you are adding value.
Will that work in personal life as well?
In personal life also means in the sense,
Because we
Like
don't know
you-
what challenge we'll face tomorrow. right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
so in personal life, how it works is you have to think that you have come to the world, to this world for some purpose.
Hmm.
Like if I started crying, first of all, we have to think this life is too short to cry.
That's a good one. Okay. Yeah.
There is no time to, if you keep on crying, there is nothing going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. So every person has born in this world due to some purpose. Everyone.
Okay.
First, we need to think why we have come to this world. There is some reason behind it.
Hmm.
We need to try to find out what is that reason. I may be good in certain things. You may be good in certain things. So better use your strength and go forward and enjoy your life. So you need to find out, search for the purpose. And
Fantastic.
as long as you find it, like example in my case, I found my strength in training.
Yeah.
So that's why I left my job, and maybe in a month I work for 4 to 1 week max, five working days.
Oh, that's it.
That's all. Rest of the days I just stay at home.
Fantastic.
Okay, still I'm earning better.
Uh-huh.
I'm living peacefully. Okay. Okay. So what works for you may not work for others.
Correct.
So you need to identify what are your own strengths and weakness and focus on your strengths. Simple.
Easier said than done. It is as a philosophy. I think what you're saying is absolutely true. How do I identify my strengths? How do I live to those strengths?
Identifying the strength is also not that easy.
Yeah.
You need to again keep trial and error method.
Again, agile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do something. If you don't succeed, that means that's not fitting for you. Do something else. Think something else. Somewhere you will.
Yeah, something will click.
Yeah.
Something will work for you.
Yeah, as long as you keep marching ahead in your life,
Correct.
the road starts getting opened up automatically.
Fantastic. Niranjan, every one of your experiences and your thoughts and your advice to us is really again pointing back to what's running inside your head. It's all about the way you think, your attitude to life, and your advice to people is how you should think about your life and make sure that it stays positive, right? The philosophy, like the book that you were mentioning, the subconscious mind, right? The philosophy that the way you think is the way it happens. There's a famous, just as a closing thought, I was wondering, there's in Sanskrit you say tadastu,
Correct.
and Christianity you say amen or ameen, in Islam, etc. That is the philosophy, because if the way you think is the way the world shapes out for you. To me, you are a standing example of what is possible with positive thoughts, positive thinking. Truly, you have a never say die attitude, right? And to me, whenever I've been telling this to many people that I know, whenever I personally feel low about something or the other, I say, wow, how would Niranjan handle this situation? And I'm back on my feet, right? So you are truly an inspiration for many of us. Thank you for being there with us, and I'm hoping that you will have a even better
Many
journey.
of my friends have said like this.
I can-
Whenever we have difficulties, we remember you.
Yeah.
Like I had been to US.
Yeah.
One of my friend, my transit airport was in Chicago.
Okay.
So from Chicago, I had to go to Austin.
Yeah.
So my friend took an opportunity to meet me in Chicago. And we had some time to spend each other because my connecting flight got delayed. So he said the same thing, what you said.
Yeah.
Niranjan, till today, whenever I get low, I just remember you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So like that, many
And
people
And
said that.
I would like our listeners and viewers with this message. Folks, a missed promotion, a missed increment is not the end of life, right? There are far greater things for each one of us to achieve. And if you want inspiration, please reach out to Niranjan. I know him as a personal coach. He's a fantastic human being, and it's quite easy to get in touch with him, right? So if you do need something, I'm sure he's happy to help you.
Sure. Any thanks for
Our pleasure. Thank
giving
you.
me an opportunity to
Thank you.
share
Thank you so much.
whatever I could,
It was our
if it
privilege.
is useful to people,
Yeah,
you know.
I'm sure it is. Thank you all, and catch you later. Yeah.